Hello and welcome. I'm Parul Sharma and you're watching Zoom TV. Today I have with me the cast of the upcoming film Forensic. Please join me in welcoming Radhika, Apte and Vikrant Massey. Firstly, congratulations on getting married.
Thank you.
We literally spoke like 10 days before that and then you casually went and got married. Thoda heads up would have been nice, like some insider info.
Right.
How is married life treating you? All that it's cracked up to be?
Yeah, it's good so far. Also, actually, I don't think a lot has changed besides the fact that we are legally married now.
Yeah.
But I think we were living in for almost 6 years.
Now the law is involved.
Yeah. And legally, yes, legally we are married. मैंने भी, Hindu traditional शादी के पहले legally शादी कर ली. And it just happened to be on Valentine's Day. So yeah.
Cheese fest max.
Fest. But honestly, none of us actually wanted it. But सिर्फ वही दिन, कोर्ट में डेट उसी दिन मिली, जाके कर ली शादी फिर.
It was meant to be, Vikrant. Let's be honest.
Thanks.
Diving right in, so Forensic is of course a remake of the Malayalam movie of the same name. What would you both say are the biggest challenges of adapting something to a different language, especially something that released fairly recently, it released in 2020 and probably is still a little fresh in people's minds?
There are definitely challenges, when especially you are adapting. It's not a remake.
Yeah.
We've adapted that film. Yes, the title remains the same. The world remains the same.
Sure.
But the idea is to yet sort of, find something new, which we very successfully have managed to do. So it is not a cut, copy, paste remake.
Sure.
of Forensic, the Malayalam film. Generally, it tends to happen. I don't think that was the case here because the original Forensic also was very much universal in its nature.
Sure.
There was no cultural or traditional intricacy involved in that film.
Right.
Here we are trying to cater to the Hindi audiences, keeping the world intact, keeping the forensic department intact.
But I think for this, because it's a whodunit, the biggest challenge was who did it,
Yeah.
right? So we've tried to figure out how we can change it or what we can do to it so that it's a new film.
Yeah.
For someone who's probably seen the previous one.
Right.
That was, I think, the biggest challenge for a whodunit, I'd say.
In the same vein of languages, this whole South languages versus Hindi film languages thing has really sort of been blowing up and kind of really being really divisive to Indian cinema, I would say. Radhika, especially for you, you are somebody who actually has a filmography that is so inclusive. You have worked across languages, across multiple Indian film industries. I kind of want to know from you, where do you weigh in on this whole debate that has sort of just been taking everything by storm these days?
Sorry, I'm really sorry for my ignorance, but what is the debate?
That Bollywood movies aren't really working because it's Hindi language movies and South films are really working these days and they're the ones that are kind of setting the registers going at the box office and what is our national language, and it's been a lot, and I personally feel it's been very divisive, but you have a very inclusive body of work and you've worked across industries. So.
Right. I mean, just because I've worked across industries, I don't know if that'll change my opinion, but I just I think all languages in the country should be treated equally.
Yeah.
I mean, basic as that. All countries in the world should be also be treated equally. That's what OTT does, in a way that brings together all languages, all cultures and nationalities and etc. There was a time I remember when Marathi films were doing really well.
Yeah.
Now South Indian films are doing, it will keep coming and going. Sometimes Hindi will do something well, and no matter what, people want to debate, people want to fight, people want to try and find a subject to argue about. This is how I look at it, and what's wrong with the fact that South films are doing well? If Hindi is not doing well, make better films. I mean, you know what I mean? I just don't think there's anything to do with language. It's about what works at that time, is the film good or not? Or is the film catering to what people need right now or want right now? It's just too many factors, and I don't think it is at all anything to do with the language. I mean, earlier he was saying that how one of the South Indian big films were doing really well in Bengal. I mean, do you really think that they care that it's not Hindi and that it's... I really don't think it is the case.
Telugu or Tamil,
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's how I personally feel. And we've always had this fight with languages and skin color and all of this when it comes to these industries especially.
Yeah.
So when I was working in South India, Indian industry at that time, I realized that there are so many amazing actresses who speak that language. Why am I here? Who cannot speak the language when they should be getting
Yeah.
the parts, right? So I also stopped for various reasons, and that was one of the reasons I was
Imposter
like,
syndrome, like a little bit
no, I was just like, they're better at it.
at the job.
At the job,
Right.
and they should get it. So that was also one of the things I felt. But anyway, so they are fascinated with North in somewhere. North is fascinated with South,
Yeah.
but they also fight. I mean, it's nothing. I think nothing. one should
never-ending
hold
debate.
very seriously. In the sense, seriously, as in it's
Yeah.
not logical, really. I mean, anyway, there was this film I had done a long time ago where two villages start fighting over something so stupid. I mean,
Right.
it's so hilarious. It's a comedy. So they're fighting about the fish came from the farm or not, some rubbish like that, and they come to a really drastic conclusion. So a journalist had asked at that time,
Right.
he asked Sumitra Bhave, he said that, don't you think it's a really ridiculous thing for two villages to fight? And she said, can you give me one logical reason why any war has ever happened?
Yeah.
So I think any debate or any such
Fair.
big conflicts don't have any real reason. It's politics, you
Yeah.
know.
Fair enough. Where do you stand on this?
I think she said most of it. You know,
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with the fact that, you know, I don't think it is the language that sort of is the driving factor for a success or a failure. I think it entirely depends on what the audiences actually want to watch
Sure.
at that point in time. What is the kind of experience they are looking forward to, and yeah, I think that's the case. And I don't think languages have ever defined success or failure. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
very futile to even argue about it. But yeah, but the thing is, you know, the media also kind of sort of rakes it up because
Yeah.
everyone's, you know,
It's very clickbaity at this point. It's for a headline.
that's
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
it is. And we know what Twitter is. We know what that
Yeah.
platform is. So I really don't think what is happening on Twitter or what hashtags are trending for those few hours defines the collective mindset of people.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's so important.
Yeah. So Vikrant, you've been doing some pretty stellar work, and your filmography is like really solid lineup going on right now. Touch wood, touch wood, touch wood.
Thank you.
You know, as someone who's been acting for almost two decades now at this point, and who has been wildly successful across television and films, when you sort of look back at your journey, how do you feel about it? A, and then also like, are you content with where you are right now?
How do I feel about it? I think I count my blessings every day. There's a massive sense of, you know, thankfulness, gratefulness for everything that I have, because yes, I set out wanting to be a film actor, but you know, how many can make it?
Absolutely.
And here I am, so I'm living a dream, and couldn't have asked for anything else. But coming to the other part of the question,
The deep part.
am I content? Yeah, in some ways I am. Not entirely though. There is still a lot that I have within me. There is so much that I have to say. You know, I want to tell so many stories. There are so many different parts that I want to play. I want to challenge myself as well. So it's been good so far. I count my blessings, as I said, but I think I've not even begun doing the kind of things I want to do. So I think I'm still a few years away from sort of establishing myself as a bankable actor.
Okay.
And the only way I see it is by being consistent. And if I am consistent enough, I think I would be able to achieve that too.
Is that like of a lot of importance to you, being a bankable actor?
I think what's primarily important for me is to be worth people's time and money.
Sure.
If that makes me bankable, if that is what you call bankable, then so be it.
We're talking about like box office openings or stuff like that, or like?
I'm just talking about your time. Like
Okay.
if you are willing to give me 2.5 hours of your time, I think I should be worth it.
Yeah.
And I would never want you to sit back after the film and saying it was not worth your time. So that's how I see it.
Radhika, you recently said in an interview, I've become less able to compromise. I'm a bit tired and bored of doing things that I don't really agree with. I'm tired of making small talk with people, attending unnecessary parties, unnecessarily just being there in front of people. Love you.
So Radhika.
Love you. Love this.
So Radhika.
Love it when you just say the things that are on your mind. But like honestly, you do really seem content having removed yourself from the rat race a little bit and kind of going at your own pace. Tell me, like, where did this sort of stem from? Was it a while, like, was it brewing over a while, or was there like a distinct instance or reason that sort of like you were like, okay, now I'm kind of done? Like, where did it happen?
I think because of the pandemic, it sort of happened. I felt this for a long time. I stopped going for award functions.
Yeah.
It sort of began there. I stopped going for parties, and functions and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I used to like always have that phone call with my manager saying, I think I'm sick. But then they were like, okay, you're not sick. Then I used to start becoming more honest that I don't feel like going.
Yeah.
Can we just like come to an agreement there, sort of a thing, And then, so I was feeling that way. I wasn't necessarily, I'm grateful, don't get me wrong. I'm really grateful for everything that I have received. It's taught me so much and has given me so much. But I think I feel like I needed a change.
Yeah.
I need to change something where I feel charged, I feel inspired, and I feel that the subject, the content, it's not good or bad, but in my life where I stand, that it needs to grow me as a person. Like I need to grow as a person, not just become more famous and rich. I need to change as a person. I need to ask different questions, know different information. I need to challenge certain things and become a better and a more compassionate, freer person in life. And that wasn't happening. I wanted to also, one life, few years where you're so able to do lots of things. Lots of subjects I like, lots of other things I like to learn and do, and I want to try. I want to understand the structure of how we make films and lots of other things, and I wanted to do that. And this was so consuming.
Right.
Being an actor is consuming because apart from performing, there are so many other things that you have to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing these interviews after such a long time. I've realized that I'm not used to talk about myself so much anymore. Because what do you think? What do you think? I think this, I think that. Nobody asks me otherwise so much, so it's strange to even like constantly talk about me.
Yourself.
I'm like that.
But like good strange, bad strange.
No, it's not bad. I'm enjoying it actually.
Yeah.
I'm loving the attention today. But now I understand how when you meet a lot of actors, they never ask you how you are. They're always saying how they are because they're so used to.
doing great.
They're so used to, but poor actors, they're so used to constantly talk about themselves. You don't have a choice. This is a thought that just came to me, which sort of makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
Have you felt any sort of pushback though, like having sort of stepped back from the formalities of like attending things and like sort of
out of sight, out of mind. So a lot of people are saying that, have you left? Have you done this? And I said, no, I've not left. Or just saying no to a lot of work constantly, or saying no to doing anything constantly is so scary. I'm scared. I'm afraid. I always feel like it's the end of my career. But I decided during pandemic that I will not do something till I feel very excited about it.
Right.
This might be a terrible decision for all you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But at the moment, I'm happy.
I think that's all that
mean,
matters.
that's
And
all
this
that
is coming
matters.
from someone who was literally like the poster child of like Netflix for a while. Like they were like, she's everywhere. Like we saw a lot of you over the last couple of years, and you have sort of stepped back a little bit. So that scared, like that fear is a bit there.
The fear is there because every time you sort of change something, it's scary. Change is scary.
Absolutely.
And you don't know whether it's a good decision or bad decision. But I'm not regretting saying no to the things I'm saying no to. Let's say that. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm not regretting it. And I'm really happy. I sleep better,
That's all that matters at the end of the day. What are your thoughts on this? I really want to know. Like having to keep up with the jungle that is Bollywood and the industry.
I absolutely second her on this. I think more or less I've spoken about the same thing
You
for
also
quite
keep
some
a
time.
bit of a low profile. Slightly, but out of choice
It seems low profile because it's kind of unusual in the world that we live in, or the world that we are used to seeing. I live a very normal life, and I absolutely second her. I think the peripherals, as she said, besides acting, there are so many other things that consume you. There are some who want to do it, but I don't want to do it, and I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm asked to do something I'm uncomfortable with. I think acting is something that I love. I live for it. I love being in front of the camera, and I'm getting that opportunity. I'm luckily working with the people I want to work with, telling the stories I want to tell, and that's about it. The peripherals which are demanded out of an actor today, I don't resonate with it, and I don't do it.
And we're happy with that.
I'm very happy with it.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, guys.
Thank you
It's been
so
an
much.
absolute pleasure. Good luck for everything ahead, and I hope to do
you.
this again soon.
Thank you.
Wish you the same.